All right, folks, what you see before you is the ultimate must-have for any outdoor enthusiast, any type of hunting enthusiast, anyone that wants to go out to the sand dunes, the fire roads, the back roads, anyone that's into UTVs or side-by-sides or off-road buggies or Myers-Manx buggies. What you see before you right here is a very special car. This is a mid-engine, mid-travel, street legal, custom built sandrail dune buggy. Yes, it is street legal. I drive it back and forth to work. I drive it out here in the trails and the fire trails. You'll have to excuse the cow patties, I apologize. But you can drive on the freeway, the roadways. Gets great gas mileage. Car probably weighs somewhere in the neighborhood of about anywhere from 950 to about 1,050 pounds. Like I said, it is street legal. The great thing about this car when compared to other cars out there, you know, if you're living in, Myrtle Beach or Miami or Las Vegas or somewhere, is this isn't a Volkswagen dune buggy. This is powered by an imported JDM, which is Japan Direct Motors Subaru WRX Impreza motor. This is turbocharged. As you can see right here, this is the 4-cam or the quad cam. The difference between this and the other ones that come out of the legacies, like I said, this is imported from Japan. This one has the upgraded internals, has more horsepower. This is what they put in the WRX. This is an EJ20 quad cam. The other ones that come out of the legacies are the EJ20 dual cams. This thing is all built up. It is extremely fast. As you can see back here, it does have the outerwears pre-filters over the turbo intake and the blow-off valve. Also down there below, upgraded alternator, has a Lynx custom Atom. Right through here is your programmable computer, so you can actually change the boost and the timing to dump more fuel. If you want to, increase the boost for the turbo, I'd recommend that you run race fuel, but it's set up right now. You can just run premium. These are all your computer brain right here for, like I said, your OBD2 connector. You can just plug in, change it. You do have an air scoop right here to keep the computer cool. And then there's a combination of 4 box relays for the fuse panel, which I will turn on. Back here, as you can see, you do have the Griffin dual spall fan radiator. Car runs about 185, 190 degrees is when the thermostat opens up. You do have a custom air intake and a custom turbo header right here. So this is all part of the Subaru and the Kennedy clutch adapters. Down below, you do have a fuel shutoff valve right next to the CNC hydraulic clutch. It does have a hydraulic clutch and hydraulic brake, so you can turn off the fuel, which I can show you right there. You just turn the valve right there, and that turns the valve all the way off to turn off the fuel if you want to store it, and then you can turn the car or the fuel back on. Does have a high torque starter. Back here is a removable trunk for storage. I keep my headset back here. Also, I keep one of the little ski masks, the sand mask back here, and then any type of tools or tow rope if I have to pull people out. So here's my headset, my sand mask, and then my tools. Plenty of storage to keep your registration, your first responder sticker, your license plate with tail lights, MagnaFlow exhaust. So I'm gonna go ahead and close the trunk here just to show you that everything closes properly. So that just latches like that, and this latches like this. You do have a mid-engine Volkswagen Transaxle that has been beefed up to handle the horsepower and the torque of the Subaru. That is an upgraded Volkswagen Type 1 Transaxle with the PBS cable shifter, shifts like butter. MagnaFlow exhaust. Back here you have rear disc brakes with adjustable coilovers. Those are about 18 inches of coilovers with the shock AFCO. Chrome trailing arms on obviously both sides. Going back to the car is absolutely perfect. There are no cracks in any of the welds. They're all professionally done. This is a custom chassis, no cracks anywhere. Obviously this right here is just a little bit of dirt debris, but this car cleans up absolutely perfect. Couple other things that are great about this car to prevent kicks and scuff marks is right here on the sides of the car. This is all 3M, kind of like a Insta Shield to protect the side of the car from getting your feet scuffs, or if you're sandals or shoes. So getting in and out of the car. Very, very nice paint. There's really not even a mark on the car. Going to the front of the car here, I just want to show you that it's been completely all reinforced. It's all custom built. You do have the welded gusset plates right here to keep any type of cracking. So it's very, very heavy duty. All the welds right here, there's nothing, not one mark, not one crack anywhere, all completely reinforced. We have literally the best builders out here in Arizona. Tatum Motorsports, which he sends cars to Dubai, Saudi Arabia. Joe Fab from San Limo. We also have Denny Fodrail, top of line. Also side-by-side builders out here with Geyser Brothers, Weller Racing, Sinfab. Predator Cars were out here. I believe they went out of business. We also have Neil from ATV Racing. And, some of the best cars in the world are actually built out here in Arizona. Still have Suspensions Unlimited, Funko, Buckshot, and all those out of California. Tons of other great cars, AG Pre-Runners, BFD Revos. But this is an awesome mid-engine car. It is extremely fast. It will get you a speeding ticket. Like I said, it is street legal. It is also equipped with, your VIN number, hydraulic clutch, hydraulic brake, which I touched on. These are adjustable. You can actually put them forward, if you want to get a sliding pedal assembly. I'm 6'2", 230 pounds. I fit in the car extremely well. You do have the click shifter right here for the clutch. So you don't have to push in the clutch all the way from the sand drags. Reverse lockout. This is an extremely important piece right here, is this shifter. Very, very expensive, very, very hard to get these mid-engine cars to line up with the cables because they are mid-engine. That is extremely, extremely expensive. It shifts like butter. You will not have any problems. Fully adjustable steering column right here. You have 6 settings, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 to adjust the steering column with the lock. You also, on this car, I'm going to do it with this one hand, bear with me. You do have a removable steering wheel, so the steering wheel comes out. I'll go ahead and just set that right on top of their aluminum steering wheel. What's also unique about this car is you have the fuse panel right here. So if there's any type of problems with the car, you can obviously plug into the computer with your 4 relays, but you have 6 fuses right here on a fuse block with extra spare. You have right here, which is your horn, which I will go ahead and turn on the car here for you. So that's your electronic fuel pump. Then you have your horn. And then right here, this first one right here is going to be the off-road lights only. Those are not connected to the driving lights or tail lights. So I'll turn those off. And then this one right here in the front is going to be the driving lights for nighttime and for the street, connected to your tail lights back here. So this is your tail lights. You should be able to see if they're on. Tail lights are on, I can assure you that. And then right here is your push button start. So the car will just fire right up. There's the car. I'll show you all the gauges work. Your fuel pressure, water temperature never gets hot. Your boost gauge. You can see the boost gauge right here. Oil pressure. I'm gonna go ahead and turn off the car. So again, going back to the front, your Jamar aluminum pedal right there, hydraulic clutch, hydraulic brake, your dead man's foot pedal rest. You actually have down there, grip tape for the passenger as well as the driver, passenger foot rest, passenger grab bar, oh shit bar, your fire extinguisher. One of the most important things going back to this car is the center rack and pinion. A lot of these older style Volkswagens and dune buggies, they have like the steering box off of a Volkswagen Bug right here to the right. That throws off the front end of the camber, so that way you can see it's completely all level here for the independent front suspension mid-travel. These shocks are fully adjustable coilovers, YXZ shocks off the Yamaha YXZ, and then you have the piggyback reservoirs. You can adjust the front heim joints there in the front trailing arms, to bring in the tow or out the tow, but it goes down the road, tracks absolutely perfect. I really wouldn't mess with anything on that. Even like the boost, you really don't need to, but this thing is extremely fast. It will do 100 miles an hour, no problem. When comparing this to the new Razors out there, the 2022s, the Can-Am X3, 2022, the Yamaha YXZ, Honda Italian, KRX, this thing will smoke those in the dunes in a top speed race. Going up the hill, they have plenty of power in those cars, but they start to level out about 74, 79 miles an hour. Sometimes you get them up to about 84. This thing has plenty of power. Like I said, it's extremely safe. A couple things that you can do to do a true comparison is go to the local DMV, and then, I'm sorry, not the DMV, go to the local power sports dealership or your buddy's driveway and grab their A post right here, and then your B post and C post. And you can actually just shake the car side to side and look at the overall body roll and the flex of those cars when compared to this. That's why those cars have such a high center of gravity and a shorter track width. Track width, you know, is obviously from tire to tire, and then your wheelbase from front to back, from center of the rear wheel to the center of the front wheel. And that's why those cars have a tendency to roll over. They started touting those cars, you know, at 64 inches, so you can put them behind a car hauler or your toy hauler. You know, you really wouldn't necessarily have to worry about having someone else bring their trailer. And then they started realizing that those things with the shorter wheelbase, people were putting their arms out doing donuts. They're very, very easy to flip when people are doing donuts in four-wheel drive. You rarely see any type of rollovers and sandrails. Yes, it can happen in the dunes, just like anything, but then they started putting on these wheel spacers to get those cars to 68 inches. Then they came out with the Can-Am and then the Razors with the 72-inch track width. Then they're still putting on wheel spacers to make those things, you know, 76 inches. Some of them are 78 inches, you know, Robbie Gordon's Speed UTV. But there's a lot of things you have to realize on those UTVs that you have to be careful of when compared to a sandrail, something like this. Is number one is the overall reliability. Ask yourself, have you ever seen a UTV, even a Yamaha Rhino or a golf cart with 100,000 miles? No, that's a Subaru motor. Everything is readily available. If you need to go to O'Reilly's, AutoZone, Checker, Pep Boys, America's Parts Authority, the Subaru dealership, everything is readily available. You don't have to carry a spare belt. All you have to do on this thing is add fuel, your regular oil, and your spark plugs. You don't have anything to worry about catching on fire like the Razors did. If you look that up, speaking of Razors, look up, I think it was in Glamis, California. I think a 15-year-old kid burned to death in 2015 or 16. I think they settled that in 2018 or 19, like a $75 million lawsuit from Polaris Razor. Those were notorious for catching on fire. I don't make that up. And every car has its problems with the UTVs. You know, the YXZ had problems with the clutches burning up, the pedal cars. You know, that's where they came out with that, you know, reduction gearing and the recluse clutch for those things to go crawling. The Can-Am X3s do have severe issues on the front end, where the front end needs a gusset kit, and these are kind of like gussets. Well, as on the Can-Am X3, they have a complete gusset kit from Geyser Brothers and Weller Racing and a lot of other manufacturers, Synfab, where after so many jumps, that front end is one of the only front ends that uses a single shear tab to hold the whole entire car together, and that's just connected right there by the radiator. And a lot of times, you know, those front ends get wallowed out. That's one of the complaints of the 2017s to 2022 Can-Am X3s on a $40,000 car. They never fixed that. So the front end, I mean, is completely wallowed out. It's a very, very weak point with the shocks there. They do make a gusset kit, which runs about $400, takes about 4 hours to put it in. Highly recommend it. They also have problems with the rear radius rods. The radius rods are the rods that are not chromoly. They kind of break. They've been known to get rocks trapped in the radius rods and bust the rear tire wheel radius rods underneath. This car uses trailing arms. Robbie Gordon, Textron, XX Wildcat were the only two cars, I believe, and that was Robbie Gordon's Textron XX Wildcat and his Speed UTV that used trailing arms. Trailing arms eliminate, which this has right here on sandrails and trophy trucks, it eliminates the tire plunge. So when you're going over like a whoop, it keeps all the weight down, compressed on the front of the car, so you're not going side to side, and that's what you see on a lot of these radius rods. You know, Robbie Gordon is a very, very influential racer. That's why he started that Speed UTV, and he was very proud of the XX Wildcat. Unfortunately, XX Wildcat turned out to be a flop. You know, Honda Italian's too new with the dual clutch variable transmission technology there. But, you know, if you're looking at one of those side-by-sides right from the get-go, you know, top-line Can-Am X3, look at what you're getting. The XRS, XRC, you know, the Razor Premium Platinum. you know, right about 33,000 before tax, title, license, brand new. Yeah, you can find them used, but you have to think, okay, well, you're gonna have to buy suspension seats. Those things don't come with the triple X suspension seats. These are very, very nice carbon fiber vinyl insert there with the black piping stitching, 4-point harnesses. You can add a fifth. These are the actual nice wider ones for bigger guys, 2 inches wider, keep you securely locked in. Aluminum upgraded removable steering wheel, the off-road lights, the street lights. Also, this has Douglas wheels and tires, you know, your fire extinguisher, hydraulic clutch, hydraulic pedal assembly. You will never have to worry about anything breaking on this car. These things are literally bulletproof. You know, you're gonna spend, like I said, $35,000, $40,000 for a Razor or a Can-Am brand new. Then you have to get a trailer. The great thing about this, folks, speaking of trailers, is this utilizes, you can go to Harbor Freight and you can get a universal tow bar. You can put a little, drill a little, you know, 3/16 or 7/16 hole right here or right here, get a universal tow bar. You can put this in neutral and you can tow this literally across country. You can go from Los Angeles to New York or Los Angeles to Florida. It's a great, easy thing to worry, that's worry-free. You don't have to worry about even putting the car in any type of predicament where you're gonna have to disconnect a drive line like a Jeep. You just put it in neutral and you can tow this car behind any passenger car, literally like your wife's Honda Civic. If she has a bike hitch receiver, Honda Accord, a Prius from Toyota, Nissan Sentra, a Nissan Maxima. Obviously, you know, a truck would be a little bit better, but there's no tongue weight. So if you have like a little bike rack with a receiver hitch, you know, you can literally tow this thing with a regular 1 7/8 ball, but most of them are 2-inch balls from Harbor Freight. You can pick up a universal tow bar for $90 at Harbor Freight, and then it can be completely removable, so you don't ever have to have a trailer. Great for cruising on the freeway, going back and forth to work. Gets great gas mileage. Car is super light, super fun. It has, like I said, brand new tires all the way around, Douglas aluminum front wheels, the very, very heavy duty ones, not the CMSs, which are kind of, unfortunately, Chinese aluminum junk. That's what you got to worry about. You know, a lot of what those UTVs with the roofs, those are usually plastic. That's why they're cutting the cages and doing aftermarket cages to make sure they're secure. You know, upgrading, like I said, the seats and then the seat belts. You know, this has all the gauges. You have your plug-in right there for an iPhone or an iPad or a pump. And the cool thing about this is you can take like a little miniature pump, which I carry in the back of my toolbox. You can deflate all the tires for the trails out here, run these about 6 and these about 10. And then you'll be fine out here in the dirt to go drifting, and then you can just pump it right back up to, you know, 18 in the rear and about 12, 13 in the front for the street. Car is extremely light. I did touch on the MagnaFlow exhaust, I believe. Very, very quiet. Has a new battery, electronic fuel pump, which is brand new, and then it has the battery kill switch right there. So you just disconnect that, kill all the power to the car, disconnect the fuel turn-off valve for safety. If you want to park it somewhere, go get something to eat, you can take the steering wheel with you. Or if you wanted to carry like a little padlock or something, you can actually lock the steering wheel to the footrest so no one takes it. If you really wanted to, this is really, really simple. This is just a turn of a hand here to put in a keyed ignition switch. Underneath here, this fuse panel, right here is the gauge cluster with all the wiring to the fuse panel. So I'm just going to show you this right here, if you can kind of see. All tastefully done. It's not like a rat's nest or a bird's nest under there. And then it's all hooked up, like I said, right to the fuse panel, which is super, super nice. Going back to the entire car right here, all the wiring goes through the frame. Very, very, very tastefully done. Like I said, there's not even really a mark on the car. Yeah, I mean, you know, it's been used. It does have, you know, a couple of small little blemishes, but like this is all dirt that comes off. Shows very, very, very nice, as you can see in the pictures. This is an awesome, awesome car. It handles absolutely phenomenal out here. The suspension is all dialed in. Even in the dunes, you're gonna blow the doors off of your buddy's car. Like I said, it's street legal, ready to go. Trying to think what else I touched on the fire extinguisher, the frame, no cracks, doesn't even leak a drop of anything. And the car, like I said, is extremely fast. From tip of the car here in the front to the rear of the trunk, I think it's right about 12 feet 6 inches to about right here. Track width from tire to tire, I believe, is right about 66 inches, just about 5 feet 6 inches from tire to tire. Obviously the front's a little bit narrower. Wheelbase from the center of the front tire to the center of the rear tire, I thought we came up with, last time I measured it, was 120 inches from front to back, from center to center. Like I said, adjustable Heim joints there for the front end, and then that's about it. The body panels are removable, the decals are removable, but this is an awesome car. You'll be pressed hard to find one in this condition. The roof is all removable. Plenty of ground clearance even for out here. Like I said, you can tear it up out here in the dirt. There's some little sand washes back there, completely street legal, registered in my name. It is my car. You're buying it from me. There's absolutely no problems. I don't BS anybody. If you want to come drive it before you buy it, let me know. We can go out in the trails, on the street, on the freeway. But it is a very, very safe, very, very fun car, and you're going to have a blast with it. If you have any questions, please feel free to email me or call me on the number listed below. Thank you.